immediately came up for both of us is, man, this is a Kavos classic. Could be something they want to go for. And
are they going to ban Viper?
If they don't and they pick it up, I'm going to
Would be a good ban.
Yeah, there it is.
Okay, thank you.
They've done some research.
Yeah, I mean,
it's also just kind of an obvious
let the Viper go, then I'm just like, we lost.
They could pick Razor. I think Razor's like a good substitute for Viper in terms that he's a mech carrier, he's anti-life stealer, and he's like a frontline tank that they utilize and can also play very aggressively. Aside from that, I'm not terribly experienced with Yellow Submarine, but I do know what they like these for.
I think you're right on the money. I think Razor would be an awesome pickup. It's very good versus
5 for 5.
Yellow Submarine, we know you too well, but does Na'Vi. Oh, man.
So at this point in time, I mean, what are some of the best offlaners you can get in this situation where you're facing up against a Razor who's a very strong laner, and you also... I mean, you already have the initiation factor with a Lifestealer, so he can jump inside the Queen of Pain, so I guess you don't need that factor, but I feel like you can't necessarily run a melee offlaner.
They can puck offlane. They can puck or Nyx, I think, is pretty good. Just a fighter with some AoE that won't lose a lane too badly.
Do you think Phoenix is a viable pickup here?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think Phoenix is really good.
I mean, it's
Clockwork's still there.
Is it good this game, though? They have very little initiation. They have Fissure. And like
Clockwork is in there. He's a great
Fest Bomb, Queen of Pain. I mean...
The problem I have with Clockwork is that, as we know, Yellow Submarine like to get really aggressive. They can rotate their supports out, in which
Rubik's really good versus them.
That's right.
1 versus 1,
obviously.
It feels like they do need something a little more disruptive in fights, though. That's where the egg could be nice. Cogs would be nice, but I just feel like it leaves kind of this gaping hole in the rest of the draft as far as who's their catch, really.
Yeah. I want to see Phoenix because I think, okay, so offlane
shaker. Okay, so that makes a little more sense.
Okay, that's gonna be fun, guys. Are we gonna be seeing the Agnum's Lifestealer? You get the Echo Slam jump Queen of Pain bomb. Not gonna be happening, but
I haven't seen that yet.
It's not gonna happen. That's like ultra luxury silly mode. I just hope that I'm warmed up and ready for Yellow Submarine to probably lead from the gate in a death ball.
Yeah.
If it's
we might have already missed a kill.
I know. It's like,
we're hearing like 5 heroes TPing bottom at level 1 or something, just straight into the Radiant jungle.
I mean, if it's a repeat of history, I don't know if you want to do that against Na'Vi, though. Do you think that
Na'Vi likes fighting early.
It's what they do. Their chemistry is really, really good, and I think the way they play, they make a lot of teams shake and crumble. Like you take like 6, 8, 7, 8 fights, they're going to mess up 1 or 2 of them, and then they're just going to keep over that they play, and that's probably how they got that far through the open qualifiers as well as where they are now.
Na'Vi has had some great comebacks in this tournament. As it sounds like we're getting into the game, we're going to hop into it in just a moment, but. They had a Magnus gyrocopter in one of their big comeback games. They do not have that kind of draft. If they fall behind hard early, they're not coming back.
Yeah, a lot of their heroes aren't that great at team fight. Like Lifestealer, Shadow Demon, they're sort of meh, and Winter Wyvern, mixed results.
Man, what a cool Lifestealer set. Sorry. I've never seen that one before. It's pretty badass.
So they are 5-manning their own woods off the bat here, Yellow Submarine. And with that, Cap, before we hand it over to the casters, do you favor anyone here?
For this game specifically, I feel I favor Yellow Submarine, actually, despite the fact that I have Na'Vi taking this either 2-0 or 1-1. I feel like Yellow Submarine did a pretty good job drafting, and I'm just not sure how I feel about Na'Vi.
By good job, you mean Na'Vi just let them have everything that they wanted.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't let them have the Viper, okay?
I mean, I think the Razor was the good job part, right? You lost your Viper, but you get a Razor up against a Lifestealer. That's like an obvious play, but it's legit.
It's a good job.
That's a slight handicap. And with that, guys, we're going to hand it off to our commentators. Kato Guy and Merlini will be taking you through this series. Na'Vi versus Yellow Submarine. Na'Vi, they just need 1 game to secure a playoff berth.
Thank you, LD. Thank you, Cap. We'll see you at the conclusion of this series. Ben, let's do it, baby. And you can see already an early smoke coming out from Yellow Submarine. This time, though, not looking to charge past that river. Maybe if they had the confrontation coming from the other side, they would try to trigger and pull out the boxing gloves. But
got
for now,
that Immortal.
They're going to be taking it easy. And yeah, already flexing off that sweet new Immortal. Looks like Barash is going to be taking it back to the mid lane here. So not yet seeing the laning setup here. Still a big congregation here for Yellow Submarine near the mid lane, but it looks like eventually that Darkseer is going to make it over to the off lane.
Na'Vi were set up for a gank on bottom. It was really smart that he didn't go for the rune. So they have to have a lot of aggression, but calculated aggression, not just willy-nilly.
little trades between supports here, but this is a lanes do settle here. Any particular laning matchup you're going to favor from either side. Funnick now going to be our off-lane Earthshaker, but he's going to be going against a Razor, and he is already like, don't even think about it, buddy. If you get close, I'm going to dish out the link. We're not going to let you get a whole lot of this, but is it more important for one side or the other to really come off to a fresh start?
Lifestealer versus Darkseer is an older matchup, and I think Hubbo's played a lot of Lifestealer in the Lifestealer era, and it you know, it's kind of like Anti-Mage versus Darkseer. It's just one that if you're a very experienced carry player, you can thrive in that matchup. So I actually would not favor Yellow Submar1ne.
Oh, they tried to hide the creep in the corner, and the Dragon's like, I see you down there, and gets the quick pick. Fast courier snipe coming out for Na'Vi. Well done from Sonico.
Well done indeed. So that's, I mean, it's not a win for the mid lane since he already got his bottle, but obviously still pretty good for them. So top lane, not terribly great for Darkseer. He actually had a TP back.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they switching. No. Okay, so this is, I think this is much better because Darkseer is not going to do well versus the Lifestealer, especially Havos Lifestealer. So you want to, they pick the Viper or the Razor to match up against the Lifestealer, and if you're not matching up with them against the lane, then it's not that great for you because he farms a little bit better, I would say. So it's important that they get this matchup, and they really like to pressure the lanes as opposed to sack a lane. They really don't like sacking the lanes at all.
For now, at least the Razor buys lonesome. Going to get it flanked from behind. Here goes Sonico, continuing to put out the work. Going to get the slow out here, and now comes the open moon. Static Link is going to help nerf down the damage, but he still can't get away from this. It looks like he's not going to be going anywhere. It's going to be first blood for Na'Vi. Artstyle is going to be picking it up. Okay, so Na'Vi strike first, get themselves onto the board.
They probably need to rotate another support up there if they want to contest the lane. I'm surprised that they left Razor alone up there, but they didn't really see where the Winter Wyvern. So Sonico's been doing an excellent job. First, you know, seeing where the Witch Doctor was on bottom, and then getting the mid chicken kill, and then getting first blood on top. So what Yellow, and they don't like the sack lanes. They won't, like, let's say, stack for the Darkseer, let Darkseer jungle, and then let Razor farm bottom. That's not their style. So you'll see them rotate another support up here. No sacking, always contesting.
Yeah, before I can even recognize, like, oh, interesting. Razor stuck by himself. Na'Vi were already onto it, and they take advantage of it. Sonico has already been putting in the mileage here. Back at mid lane once more, just trying to stay in the dark and keeping Yellow Submar1ne guessing. Now a committed jumper behind. Look who's coming over from the cliffside, now flying on forward. And this is a great positioning setup from Na'Vi. The Rubik looking to come in, but it's going to only... Oh, he gets the return kill. So it ends up being a 1-for-1. Rubik at the right place at the right time, but Na'Vi were the ones getting the kill first and get that XP
I think
boost.
Sonico actually could have cold embraced him and saved him.
Yeah, you're right. A level by now.
I don't know the actual range on that spell, but he was very, very close because he had to finish him off with telekinesis because he didn't actually have his he already used Phase Volt to try and finish him off. That would have been really big if they had saved Dendi there.
Yeah, fortunately not the case. Dendi makes his return. Already at 12 and 13. I mean, that's what we know about Dendi. This kid loves to deny on top of getting his own CS. In fact, he has even more denies than CS, averaging some of the best that you can see across the Dota platform, taking that extra bit away. But top lane, leading with Disruption, Soulcatcher going to be connecting. He's going to go for the immediate TP here, and will be able to make it out. Good heads-up play from him, but Witch Doctor, will he be as lucky? He will. The TP brother is going to be avoiding the lane. Still a good victory for Na'Vi, forcing him to kind of step back on out and making more space again for Havos to farm it on up.
And so Nako with the already having a soul ring, that's really big. That just keeps your uptime up so much when you don't ever have to go back to heal as a support. And just consistently just keep on killing Shadow Fiend, keep using Splinter Shards on the top lane, and Funnick still getting a lot out of the bottom lane. Luckily he is Earthshaker, has the luxury of shared with Clockwork of being able to manipulate the creep wave position.
And it looks like he's going for his own soul ring. But yeah, Sonico is using this Winter Wyvern in a very aggressive way, something we haven't seen a whole lot of. And bit of history repeated. Rubik going to be coming in this time. I imagine the Cold Embrace should be ready to go. Barash looking to kind of go toe-to-toe. There's the Embrace. He's trying to make a run. Ooh, barely alive. No, not going to be happening. He actually ends up going down. I don't know if that was an attempted deny, but it looks like, nonetheless, another victory for Na'Vi. Their team in the mid lane. 3-1.
I actually don't like Shadow Fiend's build with the 2 branch into the bottle. He didn't have any HP. If he had like a Wraith Band, like most Shadow Fiends started off with in the Quap versus SF matchup, he would have, I think he would have been okay for probably both for the kills, well, at least the second one, but he needs some stats. And Shadow Fiend versus Co-op is a very nuanced matchup.
Oh, top lane, telekinesis back with the Static Link here. Can they get the lucky coconut? No, they cannot. Vos is going to be out of there, back to the base side, and well, with that, they're kind of just going to have to hold their own in the top lane. Very deep into the enemy territory here. Artstyle and Sonico.
The supports on Na'Vi are just playing incredibly well.
They're actually like almost feel like they're being more aggressive than what we're used to seeing from Yellow Submarine, giving them a bit of their own medicine. And maybe it's actually going to be a bit uncomforting here for Yellow Submarine. Look at this. Shadow Fiend can't even safely farm on the side. Here comes Trouble. Do they get close enough for the disruption setup here, or at least slow? There it is. And with that, they're going to get the disruption out. There's the Soul Catcher. Can the two supports alone get the job done? It looks like they can. They're trying to sidestep, and there's nothing he can do. They are just bullying Yellow Submarine at this point. Na'Vi off to a strong charge now, advancing their lead now to 4-1. This is very impressive stuff. Something I wasn't expecting, considering when we look at the draft, it almost seems like Na'Vi, I don't want to say had no respect for Yellow Submarine, but it's clear they just kind of let them draft as they pleased. But maybe that was because they had an answer for it.
The way Sneeko moves is incredible. He always moves like undetected. They placed the high ground observer ward next to the top room, but that was after he had already done a lot of damage with the chicken kill and then with the 2 rotations to mid. And then they moved undetected to place that ward to check the Shadow Fiend stacks. And this Shadow Fiend is having a really, really rough game and will continue to do so. They've even had Rubik sit mid for the last 2 ganks, and it's still just not working for them.
Rubik is like, oh, I punched my card. I'm going to be checking out as mid lane defender. You take over, Witch Doctor, for now. I need to do something. But top lane, they're going to make another go onto Havos. This time they're going to be successful. The pull back, the static link. But look at the rotations coming out from Na'Vi. Arcel's there with disruption. Now the wall going to be dropped from the other side of the world. Comes the Darkseer. Now Sneeko going to flying form. Gets a cold embrace on himself to save him on out. But the Razor going to get whacked with the fissure coming in from Funnick. Now it's Yellow Submarine again on the run. They've already lost one. Big scream flies out. Dead. Trying to get both of them one shot. Is able to finish out the Darkseer. Now it's PSM on the run, but he has nowhere to go. He is going to get dropped. It's a double kill for Dendy. Make it 3 all day. Na'Vi continue to triumph here in the early game.
Man, their playstyle is so well suited to dealing with Yellow Submarine, though. They are not afraid to commit 5 heroes to save Havos. Actually, he wasn't really in that much danger, but they wanted to get the kills. They know that they just need to continue to beat.
Oh, right on your head. Wow. I thought they were going to have the mana for a follow from Dendy, but Funnick does it the old-fashioned way, just trots right next to him, throws down the freaking Echo Slam, and Shadow Fiend goes down again. This is a beating. They are taking Yellow Submarine and shoving him in a locker right now.
They just need to take a couple more fights like this. And again, Yellow Submarine, I guess that's one of their weaknesses, that they don't sack the lane. And they just continue to get beat down in each and every one of the lanes so they can try and eventually take over with a better 5-on-4. But like every time they've been down, they don't resort to like stacking and grouping together and huddling together and playing passively. Usually they look to fight more. Yeah. So I'm curious to see how they're going to approach this, because this is way further behind than I've seen them in most situations.
I mean, you could see it there. Until that very moment, top 4 net worth all belonging to Na'Vi. It's safe to say every lane has been a big victory for him. The bottom has been so, but Funnick has still gotten so much out of it. And you saw he's already being able to participate in that top lane skirmish, then moving down the mid lane with the Echo.
And they have a lot of stacks. Look at that big old stack.
That big old stack they got right there. It looks so delicious.
I mean, imagine if Earthshaker gets an early blink. That is just almost game over.
Here he comes. Boom! And he just starts ripping them apart. He's already got about 1,500 gold. This is looking pretty damn good. So we already are praising. Oh, looks like up ahead, Shadow Fiend. Just
once he gets a blink dagger and they have like infest bombs. Oh, good luck.
Bomb. Looks like they might be able to get Sneeko. Cold Embrace might stall it out quite a bit here. It's holding on, and he eventually will go down.
The thing about Sneeko's Winter Wyvern is he really uses the flying ability way more than any other Winter Wyvern that I've seen.
Oh yeah,
like, especially with his gank from the mid lane. I don't know if they pick Dire or what, but I feel like they're more likely to pick it on Dire because he can do that maneuver and just approach from the fog very, very quickly. You don't have that available to you on the Dire side, and that's one thing that I've seen lacking from a lot of Winter Wyverns.
I mean, I don't know. It feels like this is going to be the first time Na'Vi have ran Winter Wyvern, at least from what I've seen, but they are definitely utilizing it in a way that I have not seen from other teams. I've seen some teams pull it out. We saw it when they used it against a Wiz Tiny to be able to lock one in place and kind of have the rest of the team back it up from there. But in this kind of very aggressive play style, catching out the mid laner off guard.
Yeah, I think he's best in a very offensive playstyle. Yeah. People think he's a defensive hero because of his Cold Embrace, but Cold Embrace is like sick at tanking towers and saving over aggressive players like Havos and Dendy. So I mean, it's a really good hero when in this sort of situation. Oh, and here we go. First infest spawn with a smoke ulti up. It's looking bad. They're grouped up as a ball on
Here
bottom.
it comes. PSM's just like, I'm just doing a pull through, no problem, right? And oh, wow, nice quick steal. He's able to blink away, but then he's right there behind him. Dishes out the scream. They're not ready to kind of blow up the bomb, but then they will right thereafter. It's going to be PSM who will go down first. They're going to decide to pull back it away, and quickly you see the retreat comes out. Witch Doctor's like, good luck, Razor. I'm out.
Man, that steal was so fast. That guy plus plays Rubik a lot. My goodness.
Maybe even has quick cast ready to go. Who knows, right? But with that, it's just not going to be enough for him to get away, even with that impressive 1300 blink. So still Na'Vi getting a lot out of this. So we continue to praise what Na'Vi are being able to get done this early game. What can Yellow Submarine really do to kind of bounce back so that they can still try to at least match Na'Vi on par in the mid game? And well, as that happens here, Dendy might be able to scout out. He's not. He's got the scope. Oh, he waited to jump in, but I don't know if the fall through is quite there. No, it's not. Okay.
Man, if he were there like 2 seconds earlier, I think that would have been a kill.
Yeah.
But they've been very good about managing their cooldowns too. Like you saw that Havos didn't immediately pop out when they saw the Rubik. He was waiting to see for more heroes. He didn't blow his Sonic Wave, and there's a lot of opportunities that's missed if you overkill on a hero like Rubik. It's okay to overkill on like Razor, let's say, or Shadow Fiend, but you don't want to use it on a solo Rubik.
Medallion also complete on your Shadow Demon, so maybe they're
does he almost have Blink?
On this on the Funnic Earthshaker.
Yeah, he should have.
He got it already.
That's really bad for Yellow Submarine.
Over the 11-minute mark too. So now even extra initiation on top of it, maybe even an extra target to use as that infest bomb. This is going to be very tricky for Yellow Submarine. Their only high priority farmer right now seems to be the Darkseer, about 3,600. But he needs more time. Darkseer, as we know, you can get the early point into your ult, but you still need to get more points into your vacuum. He's probably looking, if not the Shadow Fiend to be the mech holder, then he has to be the one to kind of add that bit of sustain. In fact, they actually have technically 3 mech candidates, and it's okay. The Darkseer who's going to be going for it. So, but they're not going to have that benefit of the heal if they keep getting knocked down like this.
Coming in with an Echo Slam, Dendy's going to scout him out. What they really need is level 6 on Witch Doctor. I think with that ultimate, they can turn around some team fights that they normally wouldn't be able to.
He's just like, okay, I think it's okay, but there's going to be jump in Fissure, and the Echo follow-up. Mirage going to be going down. Rubik is able to jump and gets his own Echo, uses it right back onto Funnic, but the disruption does come out defensively, and with that, they're able to step back it away. Ends up being a Shadow Fiend takedown once more. He has been just absolutely punished this game. And Na'Vi just continue to really thrive. With that, now they head towards the bottom. They're going to be able to scout out just a bounty rune here for Dendy, but I don't think they're looking to let up this pressure.
Oh, definitely not. I haven't seen a Shadow Fiend shut down this hard in a really long time.
Oh man, that's slow. He can't follow through with more of a link, and now the Razor going to be shoveled on up. He's dropped 11-2. Na'Vi putting on a clinic with this matchup. We all a bit nervous when the drafting finished as far as Na'Vi. Were they going to be prepared for Yellow Submarine with what looks like some of the most comfortable heroes? Well, they certainly are. Uh-oh, another lead in Fissure. Surge, get the hell out of there, Darkseer, can you run? It looks like he will be able to make it away. No, little Shadow Demon, not close enough to get the disruption.
I wouldn't be surprised if Yellow Submarine took like 1 or 2 more team fights and then GG'd out. Because that's what they did in game number 2, where they were just getting owned by HR with a very early all-in strategy. And I guess they do have some decent late game, but with the Aegis coming out, with the Blink well out on Earthshaker, with no items coming out on Shadow Fiend, with Razor not being able to control Lifesteal at all, he can just kill him before the Static Link does that much. They are close to Hail Mary status, and oof. Na'Vi almost going for that Roche. That was Yellow Submarine's opportunity to potentially get back into this game. Yeah, but Na'Vi, no quarter.
A 5-man smoke here. Anticipating possibly that Roche. They're waiting on the other side, but that opportunity is not going to be there. And yeah, Na'Vi thinking well ahead here. Not looking to get caught out. But if they are to GG out that early, you got to remember what is at stake. Yellow Submarine then kind of leave their fate in the London Conspiracy Vegas Squadron matchup if they can even hope for a tiebreaker situation. But uh-oh, here we go. They charge on in, but they're caught all together. A huge curse is going to drop them right there. Funnic looks to move on in. They get the pull back. The wall is going to be there, so they couldn't really capitalize too much on all of them being together. But now they got the scream. They dish out the huge damage. Oh no, Yellow Submarine. It is indeed going to be a sinking ship down to the bottom abyss. Na'Vi wipe out the 5. They lose no one. Oh my god. That is heartbreaking if you're looking to be behind Yellow Submarine. And with that...
That was without Echo. If they had Echo, they would have been completely owned.
I thought the Echo was going to be
What
there.
a sick fissure. A 5-man fissure from Funny. Queen of Pain wasn't even there to start off the fight. She eventually is able to blink in and clean up, which is right about to happen. But if she were there earlier, they would have just been all died in, like right after the fissure.
Yeah. If it was 20 seconds later, we could have seen this on the front page called Easy Rampage number, 100 and some odd. That would have been crazy. It's just out of control. But I mean, as I was going into Na'Vi, though, they're feeling good. They get this win here, they have already guaranteed their move into the playoffs. So they're looking to come out raw aggression now. They secure the tier 1. Man, Funny has been setting up so much work with the fissure, and well, him and Dendy, they're going to dish out an early Echo. Not going to be significant on the damage, and with that, they're going to be able to walk on away. Arcel pretty weak and wounded, but they're not going to get the drop. No blood will be shed, just the tower dropped in.
Does the courier have the gem right now? Well,
did he steal? He did steal. He stole the power. Okay, the poison was stolen. They look to charge on forward. They get the Rubik kill. All right, fair enough. So, wow, almost speechless at this point. The way Yellow Submarine are just
maybe they actually let them have that lineup because they knew exactly how they played with it.
Yeah.
All Na'Vi need to do is just commit enough. Once you win like 1 or 2 early team fights, all you need to do is just have everyone there and make sure that no one's off split pushing or farming. So it's actually not that difficult to counter if you know what's coming at you. And Na'Vi, I mean, just from the early get-go with the Winter Wyvern and, you know, putting pressure on the Razor as soon as he TB top, just playing all their cards right.
I mean, a performance like this from a Winter Wyvern, you're curious if Yellow Submarine actually consider giving it a respect ban. Maybe not in Phase 1, but in Phase 2, certainly. Na'Vi got to be feeling pretty good about pulling this Wyvern out.
When teams are down 17-2, you usually don't see them venture to the opposite side of the river. And Yellow Submarine probably headed toward Lambs to the slaughter.
Man, it's just all over the place here. They just are continuing to look to get punished here, possible, but they're desperate to try to get any sort of inkling to get back into this game. Now, it could come in the form of foes, a little overextended, but look who comes in from behind. Dendy with the huge wave is going to be able to secure a godlike streak, and it's just still Na'Vi being the janitors here, wiping the floor of Yellow Submarine. Another 5-man wipe.
Yep, that's
GG. It's over.
That is, you know, I've only seen 2 games from them, but just watching those 2, I know exactly what they're going to do. They're like, when they're down and behind, they do not stop fighting. They keep going for YOLO smokes and just hoping for the best, and eventually they're going to GG out because they know it's over. And, you know, again, I respect their play to try and win instead of not losing. Not losing is sitting back, trying to out-farm faster than they can kill you, which is like, you know, Shadow Fiends will just